Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another mother-daughter moment. I am your host, Alexis Robinson, and tonight I am here with the amazing owners of Pie Sisters. Everyone say hi, Pie Sisters.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so tonight we're here with Erin and Allison. Unfortunately, Kat is in Lithuania, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so our heart goes out to her. We wish she was here, but we're still going to have fun, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for chatting with me tonight. We are going to have a great time. I'm so happy to meet you.
We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Of course. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to ask your ages, of course, but could you tell us the age difference between the three of you?
So there's 2 years between each of us. So.
Oh, okay, well, that's great. I mean, there isn't a big age gap. You guys were kind of like together.
Yeah, my mom prides herself on that. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Mom with a schedule. Hello, that's awesome. Okay.
Schedule. Kat is the baby, and Erin's the middle, and I'm the oldest. So.
Awesome. Okay. So what was it like growing up with sisters? Just all girls in the house. I'm sure dad was semi-spoiled, right? Like, what was it like?
Well, spoiled. Yeah, a lot of drama. But I mean, we're all three very competitive, but we were never really like competing against each other. I mean, the fights are more what you think of like sisters, like, oh, you're wearing my clothes, my shirts. So we, of course, had to go to private school, so we wore uniforms and knock that out quick. But sure, we were all very close, and my mom really harped on, watch out for your sister. Me being the oldest, I would have to like include my sisters whenever I had friends over, or if you're going to go somewhere, you have to bring your sister no matter what. It was very extreme closeness. Yeah, that I think a lot of families don't necessarily have.
Yeah, and we also were so close in age that we all played on the same sports team. So it started off with soccer, and then with swimming, and it was always basketball. No matter what, we were always, which I think kind of was like the preface to this whole pie baking thing, because when you're on a team with someone and you kind of know how they think, and it's
right,
it all works together.
Oh, okay. If you're the oldest, were you more like the mom since you had to kind of bring your sisters with you? Were you like, hey, you're not going to do this with me,
Yeah, I think with like roles and stuff, I'm definitely kind of took over the more responsible one. But when I don't have my sisters, then I'm definitely not at all. I'm not kind of like something let loose. But then when that's like my middle sister and my baby sister takes on the mother role, it's like a very weird.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. And then she and I will party hard, and because she grew up, I guess, faster. Like I always had to take her out. She experienced everything a lot sooner than most kids her age.
So she thought
she
was than everyone. So she was like so cool.
So in college, she was like taking care of everyone, from like.
Oh, wow.
She's like, I've already done that. So.
Some the joy of having sisters that take you to the things that nobody else got to go to. Yeah. Okay. So, but what about your personality types? Like, were you drastically different or pretty much the same, like temperament wise? What was that?
Well, I think you can see similarities between all of us, but definitely strong differences. My older sister is more structured schedule, like my dad, like very like she took the finances and the schedule of the pie shop and
the morning shifts.
God, yeah, and I'm not that way, so that's why it works.
But Erin is like more creative, and she took on, she developed our first website and all the marketing, and she's really good at testing the recipes. Like all the recipes came from our mom and recipes that we grew up with. And then we developed a bunch of recipes as well. But she definitely has the knack for tasting and like the balance of flavors. And I'm more of like the construction of, I guess.
And also just like the development of like ideas I have or events or something like that. And sometimes I can get carried away, and she's like the realist. She's like, okay, all right, that's great, but like let's bring it down. Like, I'm like good at spending money, and she's good at being like, no. Okay, hang on, let's get this going on. And she's but it's just weird. And my little sister, I always called her the dreamer. She wasn't like, the pie shop was never her full-time gig. So she always was like traveling the world, like the State Department and things. But so she would come in, we'd be so tired and things, and she would just be like, "Hey guys," and like bring the party with her, and we're like, "Here she comes again." But I'm so grateful for it. And then I don't know, as much as like annoyed sometimes we get, but yeah.
Right. It sounds like she's like that refreshing that kind of blows through once in a while, and you guys kind of balance each other out on the daily schedules and things. That's awesome. You have like everything you need in one house.
Yeah. Two being sisters and like having the same end goal. And so, I mean, everyone would kind of all go about it different ways. So, which is great. We don't want, I mean, if I was just to run the shop of myself, it probably wouldn't be, I mean, it obviously wouldn't be as like fun and creative. And I mean, we're all like one, we always say like one super brain together. Because it's
just isn't that. No.
Yeah, or like I need my sister. With me, but
it's true. That was a blessing in having like the same vision and knowing that you're going to end up at the same place and you're not like letting each other down. You can't. I mean, you have employees or friends, and throughout life, that's the one thing our mom always taught us is you always have your sisters. So
yeah,
I've been in each of our back pockets forever.
That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, guys, that's amazing. Okay, so I know you guys said you didn't have a lot of drama or extreme drama, right? But how did you solve problems growing up? Like, did mom make you go rock, paper, scissors it? Like, I'm tired of it. Rock, paper, scissors. What?
Our mom made us sit. It was actually a pretty good strategy. She would make us each sit in different corners and come up with 10 nice things to say about each other. So,
yeah.
And then by the time you're like sitting there and your sister's like, well, she's kind of pretty, I guess. Her hair looks good today. And you're like laughing and you're just like, this is so dumb. But I don't know. That was my mom's strategy. And anything to add to that?
That was a big one. But I mean, when we got to the working together, you know, it just kind of like the tones and like the little things that would like be so big when you were younger to kind of piss you off. Like you just didn't have time and you would just brush it off because you didn't have time or you saw a bigger goal or it just didn't, like it wasn't as important to you.
So it actually helped our relationships, I think, in a lot of ways. Because you just overlooked a lot of the stupid things. Just being around your sisters, like everyone else could see, like, oh, you guys are doing fine, but it's like, oh, well, you see that eye roll or the tone of her voice, like she's the stupid stuff, right? But
right,
running a business together, and oh my gosh, it's just you have to overlook a lot of things, and we grew in different ways.
And so it sounds like the bigger picture. I mean, at the end of the day, and
well, you don't have time to be mad,
right?
Like we'll fight hard. We'll have
energy.
Like one big blowout because you know we grew up too. It's like you take out your stress and your anxiety with the people that you care about most.
Right.
Because you get it out some way. So every now and then we definitely like blow up because obviously running your own business is very stressful. So we're not saying that we didn't have blowouts.
Okay. Sorry guys, my light totally went out. Is that okay? It's like a shadow just came.
I know, I'm just waiting for mine to do it. I'm like
No, that totally makes sense. Like, of course, you know, you take it out with the ones you're closest to. Who else can handle it, right? And it's good to know, like, it's not abnormal to fight with your sibling, right? It's not abnormal to have those little spats. So, but we always get over it. We learn, we love, and move on, right?
Even though like we do take it out on the people we do love the most, it's always not the best solution. So
right.
I think that's like one of the lessons that we've learned because everyone is suffering. You know, people have their own craziness. I mean, my sister has twin girls. She's pregnant with another. And
what? Like right now, today?
Yeah, she's pregnant right now, and she's actually due this next month. So.
Oh my gosh, you look amazing!
No, thanks. It's like really hot. We're like sweating.
I know, I'm like, my cheeks.
Oh my gosh, you look absolutely gorgeous. Jeez, when I was pregnant, I was like 3 times this size. Like, I have 3 boys.
2 boys?
3.
Oh my goodness. Bless your heart.
Yeah.
I know.
And they're all home with dad. It's a lot. It's a lot of testosterone in the house.
I can't imagine.
Okay, but anyway, so you already gave us a few nuggets that your mom has shared with you like throughout the talk, but if you could tell us another thing that she taught us that has really helped you guys in running a business and being the women that you are today, what would those things, one or two things be?
I'm not sure. Just believing in yourself. I know that your parents, every generation, they can't imagine like what we're doing or where we're gonna go or travel. Like that wasn't a part of their life. So they kind of just have to have like blind faith, kind of like, well, it sounds good, so just go for it. And she always took that approach with us, kind of, and I guess knowing that we had her support, both of our parents' support, just to kind of believe in yourself and like, what's the worst can happen? It's better to triumph, with like trying something that you really, really love, or you just regret it. So that was a lesson.
Yeah, when you have the respect and support of your family or like your mother, then you feel like the confidence and that you can succeed, and you won't just go willy-nilly into a project or open up a shop and create all this debt. And you have someone that believes in you, supporting you, and you don't want to let them down.
And I would also add that she gave us like our faith early on with like God, and always, whether or not we went to church or not, she always would, would do our prayers, and that really setting that in an early stage in our lives, it carried with us. So that's always been central to, I know, each one of us.
That's awesome.
She always say, God will only give you as much as you can handle.
Yeah. I've said that how many times?
Like 1,000 times.
I think I'm pretty strong.
That's beautiful. Okay, so I know that you all were pursuing different careers at one point in time, right? And you were living in different cities, doing something totally different. Mm-hmm. How in the world did you end up back in DC and opening up a pie shop? Like, what happened?
Well, we're from DC or Northern Virginia, so we've always like followed each other. Especially my sister Erin, just being in the middle, she's always gone to school and played sports with my younger sister and myself. So everyone went to school. She went to college with me. Then I graduated. She went down to Tulane, and then my little sister followed her to Tulane. So we've all then we both were in New York, and then realized it was time to come back home. So I came back here first, and she was still as a buyer in New York working.
But like we come from a line of entrepreneurs, and so when we came back, we're like, she was tired of doing her finance, and I was like, well, I don't really know. I'll do, open a business, and we'd always dreamed about having a business together. And we grew up like doing pies with my mom, and it was just like a unique thing, like a lost art that no one really they don't do anymore. So
right.
Again, I was a buyer in fashion in New York. I'm like, opening up in Georgetown. There's like a dime a dozen, like another boutique. It's like, so it was
right.
really creative. And so we just started experimenting with like every recipes with different sizes, and then we started thinking to ourselves, like, why is pie not so central? Like, why is it not trendy? Why do people not have it for the weddings and all these things? And then we just kind of like started chipping away. It's messy and this and that. So that's when we came up with our different sizes. But that's kind of how it all happened. We always wanted a business together, and then we just thought, like, where in the marketplace could, what is it? Like, and then it's like, well, it's kind of.
It was like the time of the cupcake, where like Georgetown cupcake was huge. And that was right in Georgetown, and everyone was eating cupcakes. We were like, why don't we just, if we could make pies look like cupcakes. So we started making pies in like cupcake trays and simple like that. And so that was kind of like what set us, we thought, apart from like regular pie shops or
Yeah, and then
something
we do like
new.
pie bites as well, which is like really like turned our entire business in a different direction that we never thought. Because then we're doing all these events and weddings, and I don't know, things that we never thought that pie would be applicable to. So yeah, that's kind of how it
And
all.
now you guys are a hit, like a total hit. Like everyone I talked to, I was like, I have the Pie Sisters. They're like, no way. I'm always at their shop. We love them.
That's
So yeah, that's awesome.
Well, it was like more, we never expected to be such, I don't know, it'd be such an like into catering and pie be so personal. Like we knew it was personal to us. Like it brought people together for us, and we loved pie. But
Yeah.
everyone, it's almost like music. You hear pie, like you hear a song or you taste like a certain pie that your grandma made, and it just like brought you back and it made you feel at home. And being in DC, especially,
it's a transient.
yeah, that people wanted that like little taste of home, and you get many people being emotional in our shop, and we're like, I don't know, we getting tired and like,
yeah,
girl job, but it was,
anyway, it's always nice to hear because I don't know, we did pour like our heart and soul into it, and it's nice that people like appreciate it and can enjoy like what we created. That was like the onset. That was the purpose.
Yeah. I mean, ugh, I didn't even know I like pie that much, if I'm honest with you.
Well, that's just the thing. No one really knows like what pie is supposed to taste like, right? It's like
Right.
the grocery store, and it's like, okay, you have to buy this for Thanksgiving, and it's like, oh crap, it looks not terrible.
so when we also do like the sweet and savory pies, so we have like our mom's like chicken pot pie recipe that's one of our top sellers, and we actually like made her come in for like the first year or two and make it in our kitchen, and she'd be like sitting there talking, and like trying to get like all of our employees' lives, like, oh, who are you dating, like what's going on with your work, mom, like, you need to work.
I love it.
Yeah, and this went on for like a year or two, and we're like, okay, someone needs to learn this recipe. Like we're in a tiny kitchen in Georgetown. Yeah. We're all like cramped, and she's like trying to get everyone's life story.
Yeah. I love it. That's what moms do though, right? They're just like, don't worry about it. It'll get done. How are you, hon?
Well, it's hard to get the recipe because she's like, oh, just hit it hard with nutmeg, and just
hit it hard. How are you?
Is it like a teaspoon or a lot of learning over the years at that pie shop.
Okay, so what would you say to a young woman who is faced with leaving her career or following her dream, following her passion? I mean, it's something they've always wanted to do. They've always talked about it, but it's a risk, right?
Of course. Yeah, it is.
So what would you say?
Well, like you said, it's a risk, especially like now and all the craziness that's happening. You would just have to weigh it out. Like when we started, we didn't have kids and we weren't married and things like that. So you're gonna have to weigh out everyone. Is it worth if you fail? Like what's the absolute worst that could possibly happen? But I do believe that when you believe in what you're doing, and it's not just I have a great idea. When we first started, we loved the idea. Oh, pie's great, but it wasn't an overnight thing. We worked and worked. We went through recipes, and then we went in to our little town and we do tastings, and then it was a process. It wasn't just like an overnight, I'm just gonna quit and then it's gonna be a success. So there's a process to it, and you have to be willing to work through that and know that if you believe in what you're doing, and that is also part of like doing your research, doing your marketing, and knowing that there's not someone else doing exactly what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, even though someone could be doing exactly, how are you going to be a little bit different? Or what are you bringing to the table? So no one can believe in you unless you believe in yourself first. And that comes from research and, I guess getting out there and talking to people. And that's what we did for the first year. Was we went to every restaurant, talked to owners, talked to, I don't know, everyone.
Yeah, but also it was like nice to have a sister or a partner with you. I mean, obviously you can do anything on your own, but you're gonna have all those people saying, "Oh, a pie shop, that's ridiculous. You're just gonna sell just pies." Like we got all the time, and then like we would have our pies like like baby pictures like on our phone to be like, well, these are the pies that we make, and then they see that it's something different. It's actually like, you know, very beautiful pie, a lot of like handwork, creativity went into it. It's not just like, you know, slop and go kind of like a country table pie. But we put a lot of work into it. They're like, oh, okay, you know, totally changed their approach towards us. But it is difficult doing that on your own. You have to have like the confidence, which, you know, she said, the more knowledge you have, the more confidence.
Okay.
And putting yourself out there and talking to people, going to like networking events, and just knowing that not everyone is going to think that your idea is amazing. Like, it's just the way it is. But, trust me. But eventually, you know, if you believe in what you're doing, and I mean, we got our space in Georgetown. No one would call us back. We called and called and called all these different
Wow.
places. It took us forever, and then it was some random, it was like a plumber that we had met in one of the restaurants, and he's like, oh yeah, I know that person. And it was just because like we had met them, and that's how we ended up in the spot that we are, because no one would like call us back.
Wow.
So it's just moments like that. It's just getting out, talking to people, sharing your story, sharing your passion, and I think people vibe with that. People want to be part of something.
Okay, so just to review, you said have a support system. You had your sister, but you need a strong support system. Not everyone is going to buy into your idea at the first pitch, right?
Right.
Do your research. It is a process. Make sure you do your marketing research. Make sure your product is unique. Make sure that you believe in this product, right? Right? Networking and believing in yourself. Kind of don't give up, because you've got a lot of no's, but it only takes one random yes, and you don't know where that yes is coming from.
Right. And until you let people know what you're doing, you're never going to find that one person or opportunity that someone's like, oh, that's amazing. Or I know someone who knows that. That's just how life works.
Yeah.
The older we get, the more you know, it's, yeah. But like, I think that's the hardest thing for us is like being a self-promoter. I mean, it's not hard for everyone, but just, you know, believing in yourself, sharing it, be like, I'm awesome, my product's awesome, and that's where our little sister comes in.
Yeah.
Cute little sister.
She has all the confidence.
Yeah, we're the one like, yeah, but it's true. And that's probably like our hardest, one of the hardest things for us is being like showcasing yourself, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Doing the tastings when you've already like been a success, and then you're like behind the thing, like, hey, taste my product, or, you know, but you have to be there in order to gain, you know, to go
exposure.
Forward. Yes. And that's, I think, one of the hardest things.
I get it. Trust me, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now a little birdie told me that you guys would be willing to share a tip or two for us semi-homemade people that buy pie shells and mine's still doughy. I don't know. And it comes out still soft. I don't know what I'm doing. But it doesn't have to be a pie crust, but do you have any tips, maybe 2 or 3 that you could share with us?
Well, if you actually like, I know there are a lot of good frozen pie crusts out there. I know a lot of our friends use them at home, but like using like a glass pie plate, like we use these at our shop, because you can see if it's doughy or not. Like you said, if yours is still doughy, and you can check, you pull it out of the oven, look on the bottom, because this oven is so different in baking a pie. Is, you know, it's at different temperatures and stuff.
Wow, that's good.
It's like the dough master, by the way. So like when we first started, like we had to divide and conquer. So I did like a lot of the fillings, and she had to like master the dough. But she had to teach me when she was having twins, and I was like overwhelmed because I'm like, dough, are you kidding me? I cried for 2 days. I can't do it. I literally was crying. But anyway, so I think she wanted to share some tips about dough.
Yeah, what dough? Honestly, everything just has to stay cold. So, you know, if you're taking too long, like just throw it in the freezer and let it chill. Like when you make up the dough, if you're making it from scratch, make sure, like, you know, we use vegetable shortening, but if you have butter, you know, if you're using vegetable shortening, I like to measure it out at first and wrap it in cellophane and then put it in the fridge. So it's like really, I mean, that's pretty much the biggest trick. And then baking it, we always put, you see like those rings so you don't burn the crust.
Yeah, when you go,
that
like,
you can-
what are all those stores? It's like Sur La Table and all, they have like all these like, fancy like weights and plastic things to go around, like so your crust does not burn. You can just use tinfoil. So you can cook the pie a lot longer. You just have to put tinfoil over the top and it won't burn. So you can cook your pie as long as you want, basically, without it.
This is life changing. Like all of this.
Well, fruit pies, you know, it's like whenever you're cutting the fruit, some of them are juicier than others. It depends on like the season, like everything kind of, you know, that's changing. So the more juice, like it could make it soggy on the bottom. So you have to cook it longer than usual.
And
So
that's one other thing is when you're doing it now, it's like
go.
jogging my memory. When you're doing fruit pies, if you do, it's like a half sugar, half flour mixture, and you sprinkle it in the bottom, it doesn't make the bottom of your crust soggy. So you just have to like almost like flour it kind of, but it's like half sugar and cornstarch.
Yeah,
Sugar.
yeah, on top of the dough. So when you lay your dough down, you just sprinkle like a light dusting on the bottom, and it will make it not doughy.
Like, I feel super confident now. I'm like, I'm gonna make pie. My pie crust is gonna be amazing. It's not gonna be burnt around the edges. Like, you guys are just, my husband's about to be so happy. You changed my life.
It's all about confidence, like we always said.
It's all about confidence. You believe in yourself now.
Right, I can't. I'm like, I got this.
See a lot
Sugar and flour at the bottom of my pie.
making cakes, you know. Pies.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, guys, you heard it here. Sprinkle sugar and flour at the bottom of your pie crust and aluminum foil. Who knew? Like, apparently, clearly, I didn't know. Okay, my pie crust is always burnt or burnt at the edges and doughy at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, just put the aluminum foil over the whole pie. You don't have to put it around just the edges.
Although you can, but usually
it usually blows off, or there's some dramatic.
The whole pie. I love it. Okay, before I let you guys go, we're gonna play a quick game called Mom Said. All right. Quick overview. All of our moms have these random, amazing, and sometimes lame sayings that they said all of our lives. So I'm going to give you a word and you're going to just tell me what your mom would say. For instance, if I had the word love, my mom would say, honey, you have to put a little love in your food. Like, don't just throw it in there. You know, sprinkle a little love on it. It's okay. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
So your word is baking.
Go. Baking. Let's see, baking.
Also, it's funny because my mom was like never really a baker. She just use what you have and kind of, which is completely against baking, because usually baking is more of, I guess, measurements and things like that, which is probably why my mom loves pies. So it's always like,
that's like cooking, baking is like baking makes a house a home.
That's true.
Like every time we
always
come
had
in,
baked goods.
or we like mention someone's coming over, like cakes, cookies, pies in the oven. So I think like baking makes a house a home as well. I don't know.
Yeah, my dad loved it, so it was. They're always in our house, no matter what.
That's sweet. Oh, hey, that's the next word. Sweet.
Sweet as pie.
Sweet before dinner.
Sweets in the morning. Yeah.
Wait, she would say sweets in the morning?
Oh yeah, she would literally bring us. So she would bring us breakfast every morning. Like she would get a tray together, and it doesn't sound like we're spoiled, but it's only literally because that's the only way we wake up.
We would not get out of bed.
So she would,
and we didn't care about going to school. Like there was nothing she could like with. We wanted our sleep.
Yeah. So she would like sweet in the morning. It was usually like a piece of pie. So that was kind of like part of our
wow.
So
that is so cute.
Yeah, it's like my husband's favorite breakfast is a piece of cold apple pie. I mean, he doesn't get that all the time. That's his favorite. So yeah, anytime.
Oh wow, that is so. Okay, family.
I think family is everything. We were taught that when we were younger. It's like friends come and go in your life, but family and your sisters that you always have to cherish, and make sure that they're okay, watch out for them, be forgiving. That's, I think.
That's beautiful. Family is everything. Okay, last one, dreams.
Dream big.
Yeah, she always wants to dream big, and if without a dream, then there's nothing. You have to plant the seed, and then your life kind of unfolds. But you have to have the initial dream or the want and the goal to work towards. And she always taught us that. So.
Oh my gosh, you guys are really sweet as pie. Like seriously, this is the sweetest thing ever.
We could like send you some pie food.
I'll have like a pie tasting for you. We'll just send you like one of each of our pies, and you can.
Oh, okay. Look, you guys don't know, but I love food.
Set it here.
That's my love language. I've heard them. They're gonna send me pie. Okay. Oh man, this was amazing, ladies. Thank you so much. This was totally fun.
It's a nice break from this quarantine to actually talk about pie and our experience. So
No.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Before you go, let us know where you are exactly. Your website. How can we order some pies right now?
Well, we're in Georgetown on M Street. So it's our address is 3423 M Street.
It's right by the Key Bridge, so you don't really even have to go all the way into Georgetown. It's like right when you cross the bridge, you'll run right into our pie shop.
Yeah. And it's piesisters.com, and we do all different types of pies. We do birthday pies, wedding pies, any type of whatever. We do like pie tastings as well, which is always fun. But we deliver. So right now during this time, you can come in and like place an order for pickup, or we deliver for free.
Anywhere? I mean, just the DMV, DC metropolitan area.
Right now, during this time, but yeah.
Okay, excellent, guys. You heard them. Order online, do a pickup.
Make sure. And our Instagram is Pie Sisters DC, right?
Yep,
Pie Sisters DC.
Awesome. Okay, Pie Sisters, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Have an awesome night. Rub the belly for me. Oh man. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week, same time on Tuesday for another mother-daughter moment.